Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, why is the music on? There we go. Okay. This is after the patch. I have got a Protoss versus Zerg game coming at you. This is from the WCS qualifiers. Of course, the qualifiers that took place, 2 weeks ago now, actually, I think. Or maybe it was a week and a half ago. I can't remember. Either way, we had some qualifiers down here in the C region for the, I believe it was 2 spots that are available in WCS America, for a couple of local residents down here to be able to compete in WCS America, which is, of course, a really cool thing. I was really happy to hear that Blizzard had changed things up and decided to, you know, at least give a little representation for some of the various scenes that were out there that may not have as much of a chance to get into WCS America. So I was actually really happy about that. So we had the qualifiers about a week and a half ago, which would have been around, I think it was around about like the 11th of January or something like that. And there were broadcasts over on the ACL Pro channel. However, there were some games that weren't broadcast, so I'm going to cast a couple of these here, and you'll see them popping up over the next couple of days. This first particular game, we're not going to look at whole sets necessarily. We're just going to look at a couple of particular good games that were sent through to me from some of the players. This first match is going to be our Protoss vs Zerg. Our Protoss up at the top side of Polar Knight here is Mr. Blysk, who is from Team Flash. He's been around for quite a while, has a wonderful macro game, especially in Protoss vs Zerg. Generally very crisp when it comes to timings and things like that. Loves some of those timing builds, like, you know, gateway sort of stuff for mortals. And just sort of generally he'll look for the timing stuff every now and then, but not necessarily every single time. Sometimes might want to play it out to a little bit more of a macro game. Down at the bottom edge of the map here as our yellow Zerg play here from Team yeoFW Wolves, it is Revenant, who is another C player here who has, you know, made some waves around the C scene, has been in and out of some various tournaments that we've had down here. But I haven't seen too much of Revenant lately, but either way, I do know he's a very, very good Zerg player. Unfortunately, as you may have seen in the chat, feeling a bit sick at the time this took place, so hopefully he'll still have things up to scratch. So you will notice that this is as I said, this is just after the patch, or about a day after the patch went live on all the servers except C. I found it really weird that C has taken so long to get patched, but we've got no snow on this map. You'll see the weather effect is now gone. I know a lot of people did have some trouble on lower end kind of PCs, had some trouble with the snow effect, so that's why they took that out. But Revenant's going to be going for some cheesy stuff straight away, getting his speed up as quickly as possible. Going to be sending along a lot of lings. Of course, this will make things a little bit difficult here for Blysk. I mean, he's going to have his mothership core out, so he will have a little bit of defense here, but his Nexus is certainly going to be in a lot of trouble. This is your standard kind of expansion, like gateway expansion build that a lot of Protoss players will use, but this sort of fast speed, even faster burrow as well. Wow, that's actually really, really cool there from Revenant. This is something I was playing around with, getting burrow really fast against Protoss, just to try and take advantage of their lack of detection if they go for a gateway expand. But it looks as if he is going to have speed kicking in just a second here. There it is. He may even snipe off this Stalker. In fact, you can guarantee he's at least going to pick off the Stalker. Probes come along to try and protect the ramp, and they do force a little bit of a block there. But the Mothership Core is going to be able to hold back some of the Lings. However, with more on the way, it's going to get very difficult here for Blysk to be able to hold this Nexus. He's probably going to have to just let this one go. Just cancel it at the last second. No need to let it finish. And there you go. There is the cancel. So he's Blysk has had to sort of just change things up a little bit here. Looks like we'll be going for, well, we're going a little bit old school, I guess. We're going for a 3-gate sentry expand in a way, which is it's kind of funny if you're not sure why I'm laughing. This used to be a normal sort of build, believe it or not, in Protoss vs Zerg in very early Wings of Liberty. 3-gate sentry was basically your standard kind of build that people would use in this matchup, because there was initially a lot of the maps weren't very good for walling off using a forge and a gateway and all that sort of normal stuff that you'll see here at the front. So it was just decided that you'd sort of expand with a couple of sentries popping out, and then just sort of slowly move out towards the naturals. So this is why it's slightly funny that we do have this kind of build coming out. Blysk is going to going to be getting a Twilight Council behind that. Revenant has seen it, so it's not as if he won't know that there could be some DTs or perhaps some Blink coming out, but there are going to be 3 gates. We'll see the Nexus go down shortly. However, as I mentioned, with the burrow completing, this means that Revenant is able to block off this base for even longer. Now, normally for a Zerg player, when you go for that kind of play, you go for really fast speed, you have to force a Nexus cancel. You also have to look at, you know, killing off a couple of probes or 2, because you need to buy some more time to get your own economy back into shape. Now, an additional little thing that we can see here from Revenant is that burrowing there to stop the Nexus from going down is also a good way to slow down the Protoss economy. So for the moment, Blysk is going to have a nice amount of probes. He's got 29 out on the field right now, but he is not going to have that additional income nor the extra chrono boost and pro production, all the cool things that he would like to have right now, because it's all being blocked off. So this is I think this is a kind of strategy, this early burrow thing, is something that you could pull out every now and then in a series against someone, but I don't think it's like you probably couldn't commonly use it when you're playing in, you know, a tournament or something like that. You'd probably have to just let it go. So we'll see a third pylon just coming up here. I thought that was going to be a cannon, but no, we don't actually have any forge or anything like that. Goes for an observer and is going to be able to scout this out here. As the observer comes across, he'll clean out that lane and finally put the Nexus down. Blysk is probably just breathing a sigh of relief that he's finally able to get that expansion down now. So for Revenant, we've got a lot of drones coming out for him, as we can see another 6 on the production tab right now. He's going to take him. It is going to take him up to a total of 38 drones shortly. He's got +1 to missile weapons on the way, so we're most likely going to see the roaches and possibly a little switch into Hydras come along. But of course, the issue here for Revenant is that you would really like to have a third base at this point. At least putting down the hatchery to check out if you can get your expansion going is a good thing. So Phoenix is going to scout through from Blysk, just taking a peek at what's going on here. He's going to see that there is the lair. We've got a little bit of action going on down here at the natural. Extra gas is now coming up for Revenant, and I mean, as he said, once he boosts his drone count up and once he gets this third base operational, he'll be back to normal stages for now. But he's always got to have that sort of nagging little thing in the back of his mind. What if Blysk is going for a blink play? We've seen a bunch of gates, we've seen the Twilight Council complete, and I'm sure that, yeah, he's probably a little bit worried about something like that right now. I would really like to perhaps see Infestors. It's going to be difficult to get like a fair amount of Infestors out when you've only got these 4 gases, but I mean, you certainly could get a few. And Infestors are pretty decent at helping to lock down Stalkers, so I'm sure that Blysk is preparing some kind of timing here. We can see that his pro production has just sort of slowed down for a second. +1 to attack is on the way for the ground units there, and we'll see him start to push forward. In fact, is Blysk looking to take another base here? It looks like he will, actually, yeah. Sending the probe back into the middle so he can put the Nexus down. I'm a little bit surprised. Like, I did say that Blysk does love his macro game, but I'm a little bit surprised he wouldn't try and take advantage of the position that he's got right now, which it's not as if he's in a massive lead or anything like that. It's just interesting that he wasn't looking for the timing just yet. In fact, he may be faking it now, as we see no Nexus going down. He's used up quite a lot of his minerals and that kind of stuff, and yeah, as we can see, the probe now moving down towards the southern side of the map, and I think that Blysk is now going to go for the big push. There is a burrowed Ling on the watchtower. Unfortunately, that is not going to help in spotting what these units are up to, and probably for Revenant right now, he's like, yeah, there's no problem. I mean, he's probably just setting up that base, but moving forwards, he spots that there is a pylon down here in the bottom right, and now he moves forward to try and kill off the pylon, but loses a few of the roaches for that exchange. Keep in mind, Blink is done, +1 to weapons is just about done. There is also an observer here, just in case these roaches decide to burrow, but, well, Revenant, he's got no like real firepower here. Roaches are good when they get on top of your targets that you're after, but until they are there, they do absolutely nothing. I mean, there's no Hydras and no Infestors here at this point, and it looks as if Revenant is going to lose his base. I don't think he's going to have a very easy time defending it. Some excellent force fields just up the backside there for Blysk, and now as more and more Stalkers swap in, we'll start to see the APM go up for Blysk as he starts to blink back and forth to keep some of the Stalkers out of the battle, taking down roaches, and in fact, almost all of the roaches are now gone. just a couple of spine crawlers and a few leftover roaches here to defend. I think that Revenant knows that his time is ticking right now, because as the stalker count starts to increase, as long as they're micro properly, they will stick around for a long time. Especially when you do have some quality micro like Blysk has. So Revenant in a little bit of trouble now, just scrambling to get some units out. We've got 6 roaches coming. We've got some lings on the ground, which are always good to have. They help to soak up some of the damage and try and surround some of the stalkers. But now Blysk adding in a random little group of zealots every now and then. And as he blinks forwards, he's going to start to really push in. And I mean, this was pretty cool here by Blysk. I mean, I thought that was going to be an expansion, and that's obviously what Revenant thought as well. But it looks as if he was still a little unprepared for what was coming. The roach is pushing forwards, nicely done by Revenant, gets a snipe off, but there's just not enough. And as the blinking continues, Blysk is going to take this game. And just as we said, like a really crisp sort of play there, really well done from Blysk. And he is going to take down Revenant here. GG. Revenant taps down. Well, a quick game, but a good game. Hope you all enjoyed it. I'll catch you next time. Here, as you can see, 47 damage to bio units and then the 34 damage against other standard targets. His storms have also been wonderful, just spreading them out across the battlefield, doing really nicely there. And for minigun, he's been sticking with a much more